Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Gnana Devula channel. Today, we will see the meaning of this word Brahmastra. Brahma Astra is a weapon. It's a weapon of destruction, which is used in warfare. Brahmastra is a very powerful astra, very powerful weapon used for mass destruction. Let's see what it means. This Brahmastra, and it's there are a lot of variations in Brahmastra. There are a lot of other similar powerful weapons with different like capabilities. They are legendary and mythical weapons described in ancient Indian texts, particularly Mahabharata and then Ramayana. They have been widely described and then widely being used. They are they have said to have been used during those days. Now, the description which is given when someone goes through the description, it appears as though it was actually, we don't know, it might have been existed also, but however, only we find in texts and other books these astras and other destructions of mass weapons of mass destruction, but we have no concrete proof as of now. These weapons are all associated with some kind of cosmic or divine powers, and these weapons are considered most potentially destructive, potential and destructive among all other weapons. There are a lot of weapons. There were a lot of weapons. We'll go through them one by one. But in this video, we will go through this Brahmastra in particular. All other astras, celestial weapons, we may call them as, in ancient history, mythology, whatever you call it, it is perception. Somebody perceives as a mythology, somebody will perceive it as a history, somebody will perceive it as a story, exaggeration, all kinds of things. It is only the perception. Now, let us see the meaning, definition, capabilities, and other details of these ancient weapons of mass destruction. This Brahmastra is a term which is derived from two words, Brahma and Astra. Brahma refers to the creator in Hinduism. He is the creator who is considered as the aspect, God aspect of creation aspect of this one God. Thus, the Brahmastra, Astra is a weapon used during war. Brahmastra can be understood as the weapon of Brahma or divine weapon created by Brahma. Particularly in the text Mahabharata and Ramayana, they find a lot of usage of these words, and particularly when they describe wars between two heroes or two warriors. This Brahmastra comes into picture. The use of this Brahmastra. These capabilities, as far as the capabilities of Brahmastra is considered, they were considered incredibly powerful, highly destructive weapons, potential to cause a lot of like devastation. It is described that they were capable of wiping out entire armies, wiping out entire cities, wiping out even regions at an instant, just like that. The weapon is described as having the power to create massive explosion, accompanied by fire, thunder, and a blinding light. The target struck by the Brahmastra would be completely destroyed, removed, grazed to the ground, leaving no chance of any living being to survive. The same definition which we use, the same kind of effect which is caused by these atom bombs. Nowadays, these atom bombs or neutron bombs, whatever you call it, of this mass destruction, they can create these kinds of effects on a on this earth. So that it is described there also during this Mahabharata and then Ramayana period. It appears that they also perhaps they had this kind of weapons also. May not be the same as we have. Is the modern day has developed, but definitely it was there. That is some kind of most of the Indians believe that. Anyway, invocation and use. These Brahmastras was not a weapon that could be just like that casually used, like those swords and things like that. Swords fight, you just check, you say that, and then you can cut the head off somebody. Like it's not like that. Its use required some kind of deep knowledge of the uh, scriptures or whatever. One had has to have some deep knowledge of the astras, mantras, sacred chants. That means some kind of a software, some kind of a to use that particular astra. You need to have some basic software, hardware, all those kinds of things. One had to be very competent, competently know about all these things, and some appropriate rituals also we had to perform before using those weapons of mass destruction. Only a few select warriors, they were called as Maharathis, Maharatha in Sanskrit. Maharathas possess this knowledge and capability to invoke and deploy this Brahmastra on the enemy, on the in the war field. These weapons were typically invoked through, of course, in the scriptures, what in the Mahabharata and Ramayana, we see them typically being invoked and used through bow, and it was accompanied by specific chant or mantra. Use the chant or mantra and then invoke that particular force into that whatever you call arrow or the and then use it on the target. Counter. It is believed that Brahmastra had the ability to counter and neutralize other astras. Supposing if somebody used some other kind of astra, it used to even it would never get disturbed. It would straight away go and hit the target. Like even now, we have intercontinental ballistic missiles, which have some kind of superpowers, which they you cannot counter them. It goes straight, it goes away and then hits the target that way. And they had this unique ability. One of the most notable attributes of the Brahmastra was its ability to pierce the strongest of the covers the target had. Even if you had a metal target or anything, it would pierce and then destroy the target. The invincible armor of Lord Brahma. See, Kavach, Brahma Kavach means it is very strong and then it is not, you cannot see it. But still, this Brahmastra would even pierce that and then kill the target. That was the capability. The armor was said to make its wearer immune to all kinds of weapons except for this Brahmastra. All others, he would be able to get the immunity. But this Brahmastra, you wouldn't find that immunity. It would destroy that person also. The There is one more variant of this Brahmastra called as Brahmashira Astra. Brahmashira Astra is an even more advanced and more powerful version of the Brahmastra. It's often referred to as Brahma's ultimate weapon or the weapon of last resort. If that is used, definitely there is going to be, it would definitely destroy the enemy. That was the Brahmashira Astra. Capabilities of Brahmashira Astra are similar to this, but the power is almost 4 times more powerful than the original Brahmastra. Brahmashira Astra, the other one, Brahmastra and Brahmashira Astra. Brahmashira Astra was 4 times more powerful than the Brahmastra. Its destructive potential was so immense that it can trigger a chain reaction of explosions, continuous chain reaction of explosions, leading to catastrophic consequences. It is said that Brahmashira Astra has the capability to destroy not only armies but also celestial beings, including devas, gods, everybody. So that was so powerful. It could pierce even outside the targets outside this targets which are existing beyond this earth, wherever they were. It used to go and then pierce them and then destroy those targets. That was its capabilities. Similarly, invocation of and user also like the Brahmastra, the Brahmashira Astra also required profound knowledge of sacred mantras and rituals. Its invocation was a rare and significant event, often involving a fierce battle between two warriors and of exceptional power. The use of this weapon was considered an extreme measure due to the widespread destruction it could cause. So they were very, very, like judgmental in using these kinds of weaponry. They never used to use that unless it was really necessary. That was the way that these kinds of weapons were being used in olden days. In the context of ancient Indian epics, the descriptions of these weapons are steeped in symbolism and mythology, reflecting the ancient cultures, reverence for cosmic forces, gods, and the concept of balance between good and evil. While these weapons are legendary and exist within the realm of methodology, sometimes these Westerners, they think it's only a fit of imagination and they never existed. But as long as the Indians are concerned, as long as the people in this country are concerned, they consider that those kinds of weapons existed during those days. Only during the due to pass of time, all this knowledge which was being of course, knowledge which was being used, that we have lost, but only the essential thing, like Brahmastra, the names are existing there. That is how the Indians think. Anyway, they highlight the ancient Indian understanding of the potential of destruction and the importance of responsible use of power. See, like power, you have the power, you cannot use it indiscriminately. You will have to be judgmental. You will have to judge before you use those kinds of powers. It's important to note that these descriptions are part of ancient Indian mythology, and they form actually mythology. It is claimed that many of the people say that it's a mythology, but many consider that as a historical facts. They were all facts. Factually, they are correct, but over a period of time, you find some kind of exaggeration, some kind of see. Nobody will like a bland statement or bland story. If some spice and pepper are added to these kinds of stories, it finds more like more acceptability among the people, and they start appreciating that. Any story or anything, you'll have to narrate with lot of exaggerations, lot of some colorful things and all those things. You should narrate that, otherwise it doesn't find a place. If simply it becomes something like a fact, if you say that, they'll say should add some kind of color to that. That is all. So now it's important to note that these descriptions are part of Indian mythology that should be understood within that construct. At least as of present, we have to understand them um, in the mythological angle. Of course, they hold great significance in the culture and philosophical narratives of this of the time. They narrate how culturally advanced those people were, how philosophically they were enlightened. Those things are all there. Many people say that these kinds of weaponry did not exist at all. It is only people have imagined, the writers have imagined, all those things. But whatever, even imagination of uh, this kind of a nature, which is more accurate, which is more as if now it is a possibility now. There are a lot of bombs and things like that which are capable of destroying the entire cities like that. So it is possible. It is possible that such weapons were being manufactured. Such weapons our ancients also had. It might be quite. It might have been quite possible that they had. Anyway, see, that's a debatable issue. Viewers, with this definition, on with this small, like narration on this Brahmastra and Brahmashira Astra, Brahmashira Astra, we have tried to explain uh, in our terms the meaning of these two words. Please like our videos, share, and then subscribe to our channel. Now here afterwards, many of the viewers, felt that they wanted some explanations in English. So we are trying to present the explanations in English to the best of our abilities. If there are any clarifications, you may please put up your comments on the comment box, for which we will try to answer all those questions. Thank you, viewers. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, thank you.